day 2. We are going to work on your handstand. So it's probably the safest way to get your feet up, not worrying about being on your head or balancing just yet, worrying about back bends by the time we get to forearm balance and what translates to hard pose. So we'll do a little bit of fun stuff today. And again, just a reminder, please be safe. If you're using a wall, make sure it is a sturdy one. Doors are probably a better option if you're unsure about the kind of wall that you have. And clear out some space for yourself. All right, but if you guys are ready to get rocking and rolling, I have grabbed Pamela a little set of towels. So we're gonna scoot around a little bit. You might wanna grab just a t-shirt, dish towel, really doesn't matter, but something you can slide on. And here we go, we're gonna start in down dog and see what happens. Yeah, find that familiar space. So you realized yesterday you were likely to bust a sweat fairly quickly. So again, kind of doing a little self-soothing with the breath as you also work to energize yourself. Find a little bend in the knees, drive your sits bones to the sky because that's really where they're gonna be today. Biscuits up, and then we'll take your right foot to follow. You can peel open three-legged dog. Still, it's whatever feels good today. Try not to waste too much of your energy. Trust that you will get all the bits and goodies. You know, find a little stretch, activate toes, and your breath. Knee towards your nose, rinse it out. We're gonna step to a lunge and kind of pause here today. You can use tented fingertips. You can bring some blocks or water bottles underneath your palms. You can bring your back knee down, but we're really focusing on stretching the front of the left hip. So squeeze your left glute. You can move around off the ball of your back foot. Because really we're trying to get that extension, right? As we kick up into handstand, eventually we're trying to get the leg to move above us, lining up ankles with knees and hips and shoulders and your wrists. So one more breath here. If it's, you know, a space that just typically feels good and you want to take a little twisty while you're here, go for it. 2. And then exhale, drop your palms. We're going to press standing leg split. So in part, stretching the standing hamstring, but also today, maybe you're kind of kicking the heel up a little, activating hamstring strength. Little lift, the biscuits on the other side, you can peel open if that feels good, but we're definitely lifting the heel a little extra today. 2. And then we're gonna exhale to fold. While you pause here, drop your head and find your palms. We're actually gonna plant them out a little in front of you so that as you rock the weight forward, press into palms, lift onto the toes. So yeah, leave those palms pressed, figure out where wrists feel somewhat okay. Do that just 2 more times. Getting used to rocking your weight. Notice how your gaze is automatically kind of looking up between the thumbs. That helps you balance. So we're going to do that again and again today. And as you sink into the heels, inhale to flat back. Find the breath again and forward fold. Nice job. All the way to standing. Big stretch, no stress, hips press. Feel the reach, because that's what we're going to do when we find handstand. We're going to reach in the same manner, but instead of your fingertips reaching, the reach is going to come from your toes. So exhale, fold, take it all the way down, inhale to a flat back, and step back to high plank. We're going to pause in a high plank. First one, just 3 or 4 breaths. You got the balls of your feet shimmy around, so you're strengthening the press of the palms, strengthening arms into the shoulders. You're going to activate the core, but don't forget about those biscuits. Press the hips up and back, and we'll take the left toes to the sky. Go ahead and peel open. Yeah, a little bit of stretch, but also kind of rooting down into the palms, a little more focus on arms and shoulders today while we're here. You do what you need. When you're ready, we'll take knee towards your nose. So stepping through to your low lunge. Now you get the handful of breaths, but again, stretching through the front of that right hip. Take any movement that feels good. Twist if it feels good. Starting to feel with your mind the alignment between the heel, the knee, the hip, right up your torso. You take one more breath to fill up, and then when you're ready, exhale, drop palms. We'll press into standing leg split. Remember, a little bit of focus on that lifted heel today. Whether you take a couple heel lifts, swing the foot down and then kick it up a little bit. Just becoming a little more aware of that action of lifting, where it's starting from, right? Your glutes, hamstring, maybe more of a hinge at the hips, torso drops. And then we'll take your forward fold. So again, while you're here, breath first, but then as you plant your palms, you're looking to rock into the palms, fan fingers. Now you have a natural wrist wrap, sort of a sheath of tendons, if you will. I don't know if it's actually what they would call it, so I'll have to look that up and get back to you. But this band, literally a sheath of all of your internal goodies, wraps around your wrist. So as you fan fingers out, it gets a little tighter. Press your fingers down into the mat so you're starting to activate hands just like you do your quads and your core. And then sink back into your heels. Find the breath first, and then we're going to inhale to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Familiar rhythm, inhale all the way to standing. Again, just notice the reach. Root down to rise, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale to lengthen this time, and as you step back to high plank, you're actually going to reach for a block. You can get a book or something. You're going to put it right between your thighs and squeeze it. Not between the knees, right up in that crotch, if you will. Don't be shy about it. You really want your inner thighs active, so squeeze that block. Maybe there's someone's face you're envisioning there. A-okay. Squeeze 3. So it's all about the strong legs. We use our arms because we're going to be standing on them, if you will. But the power is going to come from your legs as well. And we tend to lose that as we find balance, so you really want to stay active. Go ahead and drop your knees gently. As you remove the block, you're going to reach for another block. You can use chairs, you can use stools, you can use the couch, a little table, whatever you have in front of you to put your triceps, backs of elbows on. You could use a windowsill, the kitchen counter, it doesn't matter. So maybe you got to go stand somewhere else. But elbows are in line with your shoulders, prayer palms to the sky. And as you drop your head, your heart through, you're going to feel a little bit of stretch maybe through your triceps into shoulders, but really it's the rotation of your shoulders. Fingertips can move all the way towards your spine, but again, we're not looking to force anything. What we're looking for is the alignment you're starting to see, which is the arms being able to rise above your shoulders, right? So if you have trouble kicking up into handstand, often this is what's drawing us out of balance. Right? If we're unable to get arms all the way up, we compensate by bowing out the low ribs so that arms can get up, but that eventually draws us out of your handstand and certainly puts way too much pressure into your low spine. So if this needs a little extra time today, you can linger, you can come back to it again and again and again. Certainly it's one of my go-to poses. If I had a handful of postures I could only do every day, this is one of them. So fingers to the sky. As you start to release, make sure the arms work back onto the palms. Yeah, I'm going to slide the blocks off to the side. So mobility in the shoulders, with the strength of the core, yes, but also strength of your legs. And so if you don't have a block to squeeze, we're going to take a little acro yoga to remind you, right? Squeezing a block will activate you, but so will putting a person on your back. To find all of those little integrations. And so we've made Pamela nice and sweaty. So as she comes into a high plank, a brief moment in time, you're going to grab for the backs of ankles. You can take a peek. Make sure the foot is stepping on the shoulder. We want to stack weight. Does that feel okay? Yeah. That feels okay? Mm-hmm. Great. Come on up. I'm a little taller, so I'm going to play closer to a down dog. But don't lay flat on a person, so you can bring your knees down, right? The whole goal of that is to stack the weight over the arms, over the ankles, and when you do that, you can support much more than yourself, right? You have strong bodies, strong bones, so if you have ever questioned whether or not you can come into handstand, really the answer is probably of course, unless you're dealing with an injury or something, right? There's obvious things that may make that slightly impossible, but for the most part, these human bodies are ready to rock and roll. And so are you now. So you're going to take all of those little things. The lift of your heel, core strength. We're going to give Pamela a little towel for her toes. So if you move off your mat so that you can slide, you're going to take the tops of your feet to your t-shirt, dish rag, a little towel, whatever you have, and you're going to set up almost like tabletop, so that you can take a little high plank. The first thing is we tend to bring knees towards the chest. We're familiar with this knee to nose business. That's not going to get us too far. What you really want to do is you tuck in and you lift up. Yeah, do that one more time. Exactly. One more time. We're going to leave the shoulders here and tuck, 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 pull. Yeah. So you notice the difference on the third one. We're inclined to drive the shoulders back. We want to keep them there. Boom. Nice job. So save a little bit of energy. That's also key, right? If you bring your butt up, but your butt's 4 feet behind you, we're having difficulty getting to shoulder stand. So here we go. Make sure you got a little bit of space. You can shake out the arms. You can press pause. If you are a little sweaty, grab a towel, whatever you need. Now you can do this at the wall if you feel a little bit safer, but we won't come all the way up just yet. For now, you're going to take a short down dog, and we're going to work on little frog jumps. So you shorten your stance first. You look between your thumbs, and you bend into your knees. You can take a couple hops, right? We're trying to lift the butt, just like you did in those little pikes, butt lifts. Get a little bit of buoyancy. Try it one more time. Okay, and you survived. So now we're going to start to extend a leg. So we'll do a little one leg kick. Notice, now pause for a second. Extend your right leg, Pamela. Reach it out. So this extended leg, you want like a crowbar, straight and strong. It swings down. We're going to swing that leg up. Yeah, notice how she had a little more hop. And you can check out the other leg, see if it works better. We're only going to see which leg works better and to get familiar with that little bit of buoyancy. All right, so if that all went well, maybe you're doing that up against a wall. If you do that, make sure you have about 3 to 6 inches between your fingers and the wall. That way you have room for your head to look a little forward and your hips to come up. But if Pamela turns around, you can use the wall for this. You can use someone you felt was trustworthy enough. A kitchen table, right? Anything that's really solid, sturdy. Pamela's going to turn around. Sorry, you were actually in the right position. Circle, circle. Take a down dog, and you take one foot to reach like three-legged. Okay, so if Pamela reaches like three-legged, now pretend you had a table or you're pressing up against a wall, she can now practice from strength reaching that leg up. Now, as the leg comes up, you're going to notice that you get a little lighter because you've stacked now more weight, nice job, over your hands. Becomes a little more like acro yoga. When you do that, it feels a little easier, so we tend to release some of the engagement. Try not to do that. Try to stay strong. If you were doing that, you're going to do both sides, and then we're going to come to your handstand. So before you run out of energy, she is going to turn around one more time. Again, if you have a wall or a door, a solid object, this is what we're going for, right? If you don't, you have a good human around. Make sure they are sturdy, right? Not standing straight. You're not going to catch a leg. You're going to give space for your human to plant the palms. I'm not standing here because then she can't come up. I want to be back far enough to let her come all the way. So again, whether you're using a sturdy wall or a sturdy human being, arm is out, and you're going to take that leg like a crowbar and give it a couple hops. Maybe it takes a couple hops of courage. Maybe you hop and you feel, ooh, there's the wall. Yep, a little higher. Woo, there it is. And then if you are coming out, just one leg at a time. Otherwise, if you feel okay here, play with some balance. Maybe you're still kind of pressing into the wall, but maybe one leg works off. Maybe you're pressing. Yeah. And then come down to child's pose for a moment. We'll do that one more time, but take a moment to rest. If you were unable to come up all the way, fear not. It is likely that you haven't done this every single day like you take your regular yoga practice. The first workshop I took, I saw everyone kicking up, and I felt like I was a solid 1,000-pound rock. And it took me probably about a good year to kind of get the hang of it. So this is a weird space. We don't really walk around on our hands most these days. You'll see kids do it all the time. I get jealous. But for us adults, older people, maybe not so much. So cut yourself some slack. We'll try it one more time. Again, we have a whole lifetime to work on this. Certainly we have the 7 days, And maybe by the end of the 7 days, because we're constantly working on these similar motions, range of motion in shoulders and hips, etc., maybe by day 7 you got it. So here we go, down dog. Now if you had the kick up on the first one, you can bend both knees. Make sure you have a shortest stance and you're looking between the thumbs, and you might try those frog jumps. And if you jump up, you extend legs to the sky. Ooh la la, boom. Nice job. Whatever you got, 3-ish. Press, 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 press to the sky. And then come on down. Nice job. All right, child's pose, or you can simply cross your legs and come onto your bum for a moment. And give yourself just a moment of rest. It takes a lot of work, especially when we're doing things that are not familiar to ourselves. So case in point, it really doesn't take an hour or 90 minutes some days. You just got to do something slightly outside of the box. My favorite thing about some of these postures are that you're not thinking about your day. It didn't matter if you can come up. Didn't matter if you slung both feet up or you did a frog jump and nailed it. Maybe you went over sideways. I know you weren't thinking about work or stressing out about anything else. You're just in your body, trying to remember to breathe and figure out where your limbs are going. And maybe you had a little moment, right? Which is beautiful. Maybe it came out of your mouth like, oh, bleep. That too. Also very exciting. It's just a wonderful way to presence ourselves in the moment and to have a little bit of fun while we're there. So if you're in child's pose still, you're going to come through tabletop, cross your legs, and come onto your back a moment. And let your legs extend down the mat. So you can lay all the way down. Just going to spend another 10, 12 breaths. If it's viparita or soup to butter or something else that you need, you can take it. This is still always your practice. But I want you to think about / feel your way about your body for a moment. And maybe it's in your mind that you're taking those frog jumps now, practicing kicking the leg, trying to get up to the sky. And maybe you can feel where you were a little bit stuck. Maybe it was the shoulders. If so, you're going to work things like the windowsill pose we did on the blocks or the kitchen counter, your couch, right? You could get the same range of movement working into your wheel or extended puppy, which is similar to your child's pose, arms extended, right? Fingertips pressing the heart through. That's also very similar to your dolphin. If you felt like the place you were getting stuck was your actual kicking up, right? The ability, flexibility of the front of the hip to get the leg up high enough, then you're working things like low lunge, front of the hip, Hanumanasana, right? The full split. Standing leg split. You can work the kicks. But sometimes when you have gravity helping you sink into the stretch, it's a little bit easier. Supported bridge is a nice way to get that too, with the blocks underneath you. So coming back to this idea of gratitude, even the fact that you could try to plant your palms and kick your legs above your head is awesome. Gratitude for all your limbs, the digits, this body that gets you day in and day out through all of the things. So even when we're trying to do handstand, you want to remember that we're still looking to support ourselves. Right? This is the only body we got. It's got to get us through, 100 years or so. So be good to yourself. If you have time to stay and linger, go for it. Otherwise, you're going to bring yourself gently to a seated position, inviting yourself halfway between Shavasana and you the rest of your day. Just coming back to placing ourselves on purpose. Spine is long, shoulders are heavy. Balancing all several pounds of that noggin on top. Then we come back to breath. Palms come to heart center. And coming back to that intuition. Thumb knuckles at forehead center with respect for ourselves. Right? These bodies, those around us, this practice, we bow and we say, Namaste. So again, don't be shy about coming back again and again, but also give yourself time to work through these. We got 7 days, and I promise you, we'll do all the things. So have a little bit of fun with it, And thank you guys for showing up. Thanks for Pamela, and we'll see you soon, okay? Toodles.